Hello, and welcome to another video from 3.5 Archive. Today we're going to be looking at the Ruathar prestige class from the Races of the Wild sourcebook. Ruathars, also known as Elf Friend or Star Friend, are people who have forged a special friendship with the Elven race, and gained a variety of benefits from doing so. This is a 3-level prestige class, so it's at most a minor diversion from your regular path of character advancement, and Ruathars qualify by having either a +6 base attack bonus, or 9 ranks in any skill, or the ability to cast 3rd level spells. So pretty much anybody can qualify to be a Ruathar in terms of their character abilities. However, in addition, you must also have performed a great service to the Elven community, such as defeating a monster of at least challenge rating 10, or recovering a valuable Elven magic item, or risking death in order to save an elf's life. Now, the last one there is fairly open-ended, fairly open to interpretation, and any kind of involvement in battle with elves as your allies would probably qualify you to be a Ruathar. That said, this prestige class is a great opportunity for a dungeon master to make an adventure for the entire party to go on, and to also allow a character to qualify to be a Ruathar, or the entire party, if they so choose. Ruathar, again, is a 3-level prestige class. You get a 3/4 base attack bonus, a good reflex and will save, and a d6 hit die. So the stats here are not the best. You do get advancement in your spellcasting at each of the 3 levels, but that by itself really isn't worth anything. So let's take a look at the features that this prestige class gives you. At level 1, you gain Word of Friendship. This basically is a magical phrase, a short magical phrase that identifies you as a Ruathar. And only Ruathars know the sort of magical key to the, inflections and such. And this is the equivalent of a 1st level spell. It's just something that all Ruathars know. It's like a secret password of sorts. Also, at 1st level, you gain Gift of the Elves. It's implied that there's some sort of ceremony to thank you for your services to the Elven community, and this gives you 1 magic item. You can choose either Boots of Elvenkind, a Cloak of Elvenkind, Elven Chain, a +1 Rapier, a +1 Longsword, or a +1 Composite Longbow. If you lose the gift or if it is destroyed, you do not get another one. The elves actually choose the gift that they give. It's whatever they deem to be most useful to you. And this is nice to get a free magic item, but unfortunately these magic items only have a value of 2,000 gold. Not to mention, by the time you are level 7, odds are you're going to have better weapons. This will either be giving you a secondary weapon. If you're an archer character, you're probably already going to have a +2 composite bow, so you can have a +1 longsword to keep strapped on your side for when things get close. Boots of Elvenkind are nice, Cloak of Elvenkind is nice, but they are, for the most part replaced later by a Ring of Invisibility or the ability to fly and thus, not really make any noise. So this minor gift isn't really the best feature to have, but it is still nice and it is still quite flavorful. At level 2, you're going to gain low light vision. If it were dark vision, this would be a great way for humans to not have to be the one in the party carrying a torch or light spell. There are other ways to get dark vision and ones that don't involve a prestige class. Low light vision is nice, but it's really not worth taking 2 levels in a prestige class for. You also gain Elfwise at level 2. This gives you the Elven bonus to Search, Spot, and Listen of +2. This actually stacks with an elf's racial bonuses, and elves can become Ruathars. It's an odd case. They are usually called Star Friends rather than Elf Friends when this happens, and it's usually because they gave service to an Elven community far away from their home, so they are, effectively a foreigner in that case. Getting these bonuses to your sense checks is going to be pretty helpful. For a human rogue, it would be great to have a little bit more on your search check, and for any other character, it's always good to have a little bit of an extra boost on spot and listen. It'll help prevent you from being caught flat-footed by the more sneaky monsters out there. Is this worth taking 2 levels in a prestige class for? Probably not, but it is still a nice little feature. At level 3, you gain Star Blessing. This gives you a +1 sacred bonus on attack rolls and saving throws while under the night sky. You have to be above ground and outside during nighttime. Now, this isn't going to help you much for dungeon delving, which is what a lot of D&D is about. But if you do fight outside, or if you're, traveling and camping, you're going to want to keep watch. And if there are any opponents, you can face them down with an extra +1 to hit. Unfortunately, this prestige class doesn't have a full base attack bonus, so there's really not a great way to make use of this, leverage this above and beyond what you would be getting if you'd continue taking levels in a full base attack bonus class. But again, it's a nice, small, flavorful feature. Also, at level 3, you gain Arvandor's Grace. This increases the lower limit of each of your age categories by 50%, as well as your lifespan. So this is a little bit like a Dunedain from Lord of the Rings. This is a bit like what Aragorn would be. A human. Admittedly, this is that's a different thing. That was, a royal lineage. But this just comes from your friendship with the elves. It begins to affect your natural lifespan. Adding 50% to your lifespan, practically speaking, that would be something really great. And I think pretty much anyone in real life would be clamoring to take levels in this prestige class if they could. However, given the scope of a typical D&D campaign, you're usually done playing with that character long before they even reach middle age, let alone, old or venerable. And as a result, this is a nice feature. This is maybe a nice prestige class to take close to the end of your career so that you can let your character retire with an extra long lifespan to look forward to. But its effect on the game is, pretty much meaningless. You could almost consider this not really a feature at all. So overall, for being a Ruathar, you kind of get what you put in. Pretty much any character that fulfills the in-story requirement for this prestige class can qualify for it. And as a result, you get some very mediocre but very flavorful features. If this is worth devoting 3 levels to, I would really question what class you were playing before. But if you are a spellcaster, this is probably the most worth it, as spellcasting classes aren't getting any class features anyway. So if you're a wizard or a sorcerer and you just want some of these nice flavorful options, then that can be great. You're not going to be the party scout most likely with the +2 to spot and listen, since you don't get those as class skills. The +1 bonus on attacks while outside, well, that'll come in handy once in a while. And maybe a Cloak of Elven Kind could be very rarely helpful as a spellcaster. Maybe for a Beguiler character or something like that, since your class features in that class aren't really that helpful anyway. There are a few places where a Ruathar could fit in, but it's never going to be your first choice. There's really nothing in here that you're going to really want. You can get free magic item, which you don't even get to choose. You get a secret password. You get low light vision. And you get the bonus on skill checks, which really is the only strong option here. And again, you could take, alertness and effectively get most of that same bonus just by taking a feat rather than 2 levels in a prestige class. So this prestige class would probably get 5 stars for concept, but only 1 star for execution. If you really want to just think of it as a flavorful thing, then you could say it has 3 stars for execution. But if we're looking at this from a character optimization standpoint, you're probably never going to want to take levels in this prestige class. There's really no situation in which you would really want any of these features in particular, and certainly not enough to justify going into it. But again, almost anyone qualifies for it, and it's an interesting way to, formalize being a friend of the elves. If it gave you a more powerful magic item, or if it just gave you some kind of minor bonus that was, an inherent bonus or something particular to your being that you received as a result of the Ruathar ritual or ceremony, then that would be a lot better. But as is, it gives you an item that's just going to become, junk after a few more levels. It's not going to be relevant anymore. It gives you a couple of irrelevant flavorful features, and it gives you some small skill and attack bonuses that are kind of canceled out by the fact that you get a mediocre base attack bonus and probably less skill points if you're playing a rogue from this prestige class. So that's going to be about it for this D&D 3.5 Prestige class review. A very flavorful Prestige class, but not one that's really worth taking except for those sorts of flavor reasons. And that's going to be about it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and so on. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time here on 3.5 Archive.